Okay, for your printmaking, your backgrounds are going to be very colorful because the print is going to be in black. So we're going to watercolor some bright, colorful backgrounds, like this one. This is, well, it's kind of light, kind of bright. But I'm going to show you 6 different techniques for watercoloring. This includes wet on wet, dry brush, splatter and spray, blot, salt, and gradient wash. So I'm going to show you each of those techniques so you know what you are doing. So here what I have ready is my cup of water, watercolor paintbrush, and my watercolors. I also have a paper towel because it's good to use for watercolors. So to start, I'll take my paintbrush, get some water. I think I'll start with the loveliest color, red. I can mix that in there. And I'm going to do the gradient wash because that's the first one up here. I'm going to take as much red as I can and start going back and forth with the gradient. And before it dries, I'll add more water and pull it down even more. So it gets lighter with more water that you add. I could add more red up here. That'd be fine. If I wanted to make it change colors, I could probably start, let's see, I'll use yellow. Put some yellow below and pull it upward. And then you have a nice, lovely red to pink to yellow. Now the second one will be dry brush. I'm going to use this lovely blue color. Dry brush is a little different than a wash. You're mostly using paint and not water, so trying to make different kind of dry paint marks. I'm not going to dip my brush in water very much. It'll be very dry for dry brush. You can get some kind of like scratchy marks in it. Sound effects are always good. So that would be dry brush. I could probably add in a different color too. I'll add some purple. Why not? Beautiful! Wet on wet is exactly how it sounds. It's wet paint on wet paint. So I'm going to do this lovely light green and do a wash, which is just coloring it all in with one color and water. And then before it dries, I'll wash my brush and grab a new color, maybe the darker green, and add that to the wet paint and you can see what happens. It kind of smudges everywhere and smears. That's wet on wet. And I'll put some blue in there too. Okay, that's perfect. With salt, I don't have any salt right now, so I'm not going to show that one at the moment. So we're going to do some blotting. I'll use a lovely purpley color and do a nice wash. And blotting is taking a paper towel and kind of picking up some of the paint. Let's see if I can do this a little better. It's not picking up as much paint as I wanted. Kind of. This isn't quite watercolor paper, so it's kind of not working the same as watercolor paper, but you get the idea. Before it dries, pick up some of the paint and you can actually pull and get some white spaces in it. Splatter and spray is pretty fun too, so I'm going to grab some green and a lot of water and basically just flick. You don't want to actually flick on someone else's art, but I also have a straw which can be fun for spray, not spray paint, but spray splatters. So if I dripped a nice little blob on there and took a straw and blew on it, you can get some cool marks with the paint. That looks pretty neat. I could add other colors, but you probably get the idea. Okay, I got some salt. Now salt does interesting things with the paint and water since salt absorbs water. So if I think I'll take some more green. Get a dark green on here and sprinkle some salt on it before it dries, and I will let that dry. And it'll kind of soak up whatever's around it and make it an interesting texture. Okay, I have a bonus one that I call dabbing, where I'm going to take my paper towel, a lot like blotting, and grab some paint, and actually you can do some cool like stamp blobbing to create some nice texture too. The fun part about doing watercolor is that you can combine a lot of these too. So if you have your gradient wash, maybe you want to go back and actually splatter some blue on it and it look pretty nice. You can go back and add some dots or something. It's all about making an interesting, colorful background. All right, have fun.